Chattanooga is also home to some very talented artists, well, like Susan Parry. She's gained a national reputation for her jewelry, sculptures, and special Christmas tree ornaments. Now, Susan's career journey has been quite interesting, too, according to Ken Wilshire, who paid her a studio visit.
These intricate works of art may appear to be stone, but surprisingly, they're blown and sculpted from glass. They're the painstakingly detailed miniature sculptures of Chattanooga artist Susan Parry, who's always looking for a new technique to master.
I'm trying to challenge the viewer's senses and my capabilities at the same time by making glass not look like glass. I want people to say, is this really glass? Are you sure?
But her artistic journey did not begin with such clarity and certainty.
I can't even begin to tell you what I did at first, because I tried so many different mediums until I found glass. You name it, I've knitted, I've made handmade paper, handmade books, candles, greeting cards. I used to use art as a way of teaching English to adult foreign students. I've worked with senior citizens with arts and crafts, so it was always in me. But then when I found glass, I just got hooked. There's something about glass, just starting with the raw materials and just going from there. I didn't even know I could sculpt until a few years ago. And now that's the most exciting thing to me, to see things come to life right in front of me.
Susan's pieces are colorful, cheerful, and often comical. With her skillful touch, birds, fish, and vessels of all kinds seem to magically appear from the melting glass rods. But these are only a few of her charming creations.
I do jewelry and I do sculptures. Lately I've been getting pieces of like driftwood or tree roots and doing birds that are semi-bead, but you really can't tell they're a bead because I connect them with dowels and put them onto whatever wooden basin I'm putting them in. I work with wire a lot and precious metals, but mainly, I'm hooked on glass. I'm like the moth to the flame. You can't get me away from it for very long or I'm not happy.
Still, while glass hasn't always been her medium of choice, when she did discover its creative possibilities, it was an immediate love affair.
I love glass for so many reasons. I love the way it captures light. I love that I can create anything that I imagine. And I always say that glass is my teacher, that you know what something looks like until you try to make it. It's just so exciting. I can never get bored with it. It's like being in love. My heart just fills up. I'm just so excited. I cannot wait until the next day when I can take it out of the kiln and look at it. That's another challenge of working with glass, because when the glass is hot, quite often the colors don't look the same they look when they're cold. They usually tend to be different shades of red, orange, yellow, and white, depending on how hot the glass is. So I think I have an idea what it's going to look like, but I truly don't know what it's going to look like till I get to see it. So it's Christmas every time I open my kiln.
As you can imagine, Susan is a well-respected and recognized artist and teacher. Her works have been displayed across the country and even at the White House to decorate Tennessee's Christmas tree.
I wanted our tree to be more interesting, and I also wanted to use different skill sets. So one of the ornaments is a direct takeoff on the Tennessee flag, except I reversed the colors on purpose. The other ornament, I wanted to do something to celebrate the rolling hills and mountains of Tennessee. Then I thought, and what can tie the two ornaments together to give it that Christmas feel? I thought, I want a wreath. This was my way of saying that Tennessee's an environmentally conscious state, that we're green in more ways than one. And it had the Christmas feel.
Susan's works are actually an ancient art form called lampworking. It's the oldest method of glassmaking and results in pieces that seem to last forever.
Lampworking got the name in the Renaissance period because at that time artists were melting glass over oil lamps. But this is actually an art form that predates the birth of Christ. At one time, the archaeologists credited the Egyptians with this because they had found samples of their work in the Egyptian pyramids, and they know that they had been working with ceramic glazes. But the type of glass I work with is soft glass, made from elements of the earth, soda lime, ash, and sand.
Susan, you've been showing us examples of the smaller stuff that you make, but this is a different type of glass and a different type of piece. Tell us about this.
This is borosilicate glass, also known as hard glass. It's the same type of material that Pyrex dishes are made out of. I can work out of the flame with this a lot longer. That's why I can get bigger with it. That's a dragon.
All right.
A fire-breathing dragon at that. It has ruby-colored glass coming out of his mouth.
Because her work is so unique, Most of the time, when you see a Susan Parry piece of art, the question always comes up.
Is this really glass? And how did you do that?
Susan certainly cherishes the loves of her life here on top of Signal Mountain, where inspiration and motivation guide her every step of the way to her next creation. She has the love of her family, the love of her surroundings, and the love of her craft. They've all been part of her success, and like some of her works, the key to her heartfelt passion.
I always say this double prayer when I start my work. I always ask for safety, but I always say that I hope that whatever I make will make somebody else happy. And that's just how I feel about it.